Welcome to the Success with Jewelry podcast, where we invite you inside our conversations about business success and marketing for jewelry designers and entrepreneurs. Welcome to episode number 81. In this episode, I'll be chatting with 1000Facets, an incredible advocate for independent artists on both her Instagram and podcast. We'll be discussing how to stand out and find your voice as a designer. I also want to tell you about our insider community. When you join, you'll have access to extended episodes full of tips that you can start implementing today and further resources about each topic we discuss. In the bonus content of this episode, we'll be discussing the brands in the industry that stand out to us the most. To get access to exclusive content as well as direct access to me and Larissa, sign up by visiting successwithjewelry.com. Hey, let's get into it.
Hi.
I'm so excited that we have 1000Facets here. First, why don't you introduce yourself and also tell us about your podcast? Because it's just really inspired me that you have a podcast now. It makes so much sense. Tell us about it.
Well, I am 1000Facets. I've been working on this space for 14 years already, which is insane. I started on Tumblr, then I moved to Instagram. Instagram really is like my space to really share the work of artists. And this is what I've been wanting to do for like forever. It's just finding these artists that for the most part are handmade, one people show or one small group of people working with an artist and really exposing their work to the world or whoever is looking. I don't know who's looking, but whoever is looking, I really just want to share the really incredible with unique voices work. And then with the podcast, I used to visit have lunches with artists and go to their studios and see them in the shows, and I have these great conversations, and I'm like, why is nobody listening to them? Like, I want people to hear their stories, and I just wanted to have like a casual space where we can just like talk about their inspirations, talk about what they're into, what made them be in the world of jewelry, all these different things. What's their background? And I've had already like like over 30 episodes, I believe, and it's just been really fun. It's very inspiring, and just talking to all of you, I just really love it.
I mean, you've interviewed like top artists in the industry, like Todd Reed, Judy Geib, Gabriella Kiss. I mean, and incredible independent artists who aren't as well known, who are just up and coming. So it's the number one recommended podcast, in my opinion, in the jewelry industry. There aren't that many things to listen to specific to jewelry. And having been a witness to some of your conversations, like at trade shows over the years, it's like, yes, this needs to be out there in the world.
Oh, well, I thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. I love artists. I love what they're trying to do. I love when people try to express themselves through a medium, and my medium is jewelry, to share. So seeing these people's inspirations is just it's I'm very I feel very honored to be part of their journey in like a very, very, very tiny way, but like it's just like really nice to see them grow. Like there's artists that I've like, for example, like Johnny Ninos and Shane Jamane have been artists that I've been seeing from like the beginning, and I've seen their progression. I've seen, in Johnny's case, his kid grow and all these different things. And it's just, I feel like in a tiny part, they're part of my family in a way. I don't know. It's just, I'm very attached to the artists as well.
I know you've created a whole community around what you do. And I totally forgot that you started on Tumblr. Is Tumblr still a thing?
It's still a thing. I still have it, but I haven't posted in a long time. I need to connect it to my Instagram and just post the same things there, just to have a presence there. But yeah, it hasn't. It
I
really
used
has.
to love Tumblr,
I
but
know, me too.
yeah, it was great. It was like the next thing from like a Zanga or a Live Journal. It was like then it was Tumblr, and then it was blogs, and then it was
The
Instagram.
Yeah, the crazy part is that I used to post live. So I will come from work and just have like the I will have like an artist, right? But like I will have 10 pictures of the artist for people to see their breadth of the work. And then I will get home and I'll just like post one by one. And I'm like, why did I do that? And then somebody told me it's like you can cue them. I'm like, I can cue them? What?
I used to queue posts on Tumblr.
And it was really it was really fun. I really liked that. But I don't know, Instagram, for better or worse now, is still like my favorite place to post.
I think the power of Instagram is, and we just did a whole episode about Instagram. So if you haven't listened to that yet, head back and listen to that one. But the power of Instagram is like the one-on-one conversation and the direct messages. And I'm guessing
Mm-hmm.
that's what you love about it as someone who likes the connection with the artist. It's like that you
Yes.
can post about them, have some great commentary in the comments, and then also have a one-on-one conversation.
Exactly. It's just that's like the place that if you wanna like talk to me for the most part is there. Like I'm really bad at emails. But like if you're like in my DMs already, like I just like sometimes I'm just like on the train or like just whatever and I just send a message to random artists and I'm like, how are you doing? You know, it's just like, how are you today? And stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't know, it makes me feel very connected with them.
That's great. So I wanted to, when I was thinking about what to talk to you about, because we knew we wanted to like cross promote our podcast and I wanted to have you on because I've been on your podcast, but I was like, what should we talk about? And I think the best thing for us to talk about is how artists can stand out. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to start with this question of why is it important to have a clear and strong voice when it comes to your design and your aesthetic?
So I've been thinking a lot about that. First of all, it's like one of my favorite things is like when I look at a photo, I can tell who the artist is almost immediately. Or like where they got the inspiration from. Or like, oh, this reminds me of this artist. Like having a voice is just it's basically it's like your business card. You know, it's like this is who I am. And you're like in your work, you should just showcase your story. Like it's just like it's all about storytelling. And like I just love, for example, when I'm like just looking at people's work and just scrolling through my Instagram, I know, like I don't even need to look at the post. I know exactly who I'm seeing. I'm like, this is so and so, this is so and so, like immediately. And that's like for me, the most important is the your identity as an artist should be that. Should be just like your work, somebody can see it from 10 miles and say, this is so and so's work. And it's very difficult to find a voice. It's very, very difficult, but you can achieve it, but it's a lot of work and it's a lot of trial and errors. It's a lot of research. You have to do research. You have to find what's out there already in the world. This industry is as small as the industry is very saturated. So you have to find what makes you different from everybody else, and you can do it. I There's artists that have been that I met last year that just graduated and they already have their voice completely like understanding. One of the people that I always say that she knew their voice immediately was Tura Sugden. I remember seeing her maybe like 10 years ago or something like that. I don't remember. She was in New York now, but I've seen her work before and I'm like, this person know who she is. You know, the way that her settings, the way that she did her settings were so specific to her. And she's still scrolling, but her voice is still so focused, you know?
And there's a lot of artists that come out of the gate like that. And we're going to talk about more in the bonus episode. But for some artists who are really incredible, it took them, a while to really develop
Mm-hmm.
and grow. And that's okay too. I think that there's this like idea or this pressure that like you have to, the first collection you showcase has to be it. And that's what you're doing from then on. But it is an evolution. And even if you
Mm-hmm.
have hit like, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, it still does need to evolve from there.
Yeah, no, for sure. It takes a little it takes time. I'm not saying it's like there's like, wonder kids like her, and like there's a few that just like find their voice immediately and that's who they are. But then there's like people that just like they try, like they have like five or different concepts, and then they see what's working better. And
Mhm.
then they start developing that like the concept that is like reacting more to people. It's really it is it's like a anthropological test in a way, when you showcase your line for the first time and see what people gravitate towards, and that is eh, you know people tend to start with like a just like a gemstone and a cap with a bezel set and a ring. That's it. But like it's for me, it's like what can you do to that bezel set and that just cabochon that is gonna be completely different from what 100 other people are doing, you know?
So yeah, definitely. Do you have any tips for the makers who are like in that process of like launching a collection or like still kind of figuring out what makes them unique or what kind of like, stands out about their work?
You need to talk to other people. You need to get like a different perspective because everybody's working in a silo. And then you're just like just doing, you're in your bench, you're creating, and you're not getting any feedback. And I think it's really good to get any feedback, and don't get stressed if people don't react to it. It doesn't work. It's not like a magic wand that you can just like get everybody to like it. No, everybody's gonna like it, but be open to criticism, because people, I know it's your baby, and I know it's the thing that you've been working out for so long, and you put your heart and soul on it, but just be open to get some feedback and some criticism. um you don't want to have like a yes person all the time just telling you, oh, it's beautiful, it's beautiful, it's beautiful, because you're not going to grow, you're not going to really find uh you know uh like what you really want to do. I had conversations with artists, and I'm like, this is really nice, but it's missing something. And it depends on the artist. Like I talk to countless artists, and I just give them a little bit of feedback, and I'm like, oh, I like this, but what if you do this? And the people that have taken the advice, I've seen them taking off in such a different way, and I love that. I can give you a perfect, like two perfect examples, but maybe for later. but
Yeah,
it,
that's great. Yeah, go ahead.
no, but that's the thing, is like, just like if you listen to people, like it will give you a different perspective.
Yeah, I think that you and I both, I know, like, love seeing that, like, core, like, what's driving that artist,
Hmm.
and everyone has that, like, their core inspiration, like, what they really, like, truly want to be making and the passion behind it. It's, like, balancing that and, like, what, kind of, like, makes it really stand out, right? So it's,
Hmm.
like, kind of balancing the things that are gonna sell with, like, the passion of why you're doing
Yeah.
it. It's
Yes.
tough.
Yeah, it is very tough. I always tell people, you need to have a wow piece that you're never gonna sell. It's gonna be in your collection forever. That it's gonna be higher price, very a little extravagant, but that's the piece that is gonna really attracts the person to your booth if you're in a show, like to your website, and then you're gonna have your bread and butter stuff, the stuff that is just gonna sell every day, like this. You're gonna have, like, people are gonna resonate with it, and they are like kind of like aspirational pieces, like I call. It's like the person really invests in you as an artist, they love you, and then they're like, okay, I love this gigantic piece, and but I cannot afford it, but I just want at least to have the earrings because I love the artist so much. And I've done it. I've done it many times. Like, you know, I, for example, like Shane Jamane, for example, like I bought from him like the silver earrings. Like that was like my first purchase that I ever did because I couldn't afford anything else. And I had from him like, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 pieces now of just like different rings and like pendants and things like that. I wear his earrings every day. Like I never take them off. But it's just like he was like my first aspirational like purchase, and I was able to grow the collection towards that. But because I love him so much and I want him to be successful, you know.
And his aesthetic is so good. I
I
want
know.
those. He just posted a pair of like stone drop earrings.
Mm-hmm.
That I love.
Mm-hmm.
But a good example of this, what you're talking about, and this is like an extreme example, not everybody's going to go this far, but like Lauren Nicole creating a long ship out of 22
Mm-hmm.
karat gold
I
and
know.
with like, I don't know, like 30 components that could be turned into jewelry and worn.
Yes.
That draws people in, that gets
Mm-hmm.
the press. But then
Exactly.
she also is offering like earrings that like kind of mimic some of the earrings like involved in the long ship that you could
Exactly.
purchase as like an introductory purchase.
Exactly. And it's like that. It's like you need something to draw people on. What makes you special? What stands you like what brings like makes you different from everybody else? What makes you stand out? All these things like who are you? Who's the person behind and what story you want to tell? You know, those are the things that you really need to think about when you're creating something. Because again, everybody can make a vessel set with a gemstone. That's it. You know, what what are you doing that is gonna make you really, really stand out and make people feel something?
Mhm.
You know, for me, it's like I get so excited. Sometimes I want to cry when I see a piece of work, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. And to get that reaction, I look at jewelry every day, like all the time. Like I see hundreds of pieces of jewelry on a daily basis. So for me to stop and be like, this is really cool, like that's the reaction that you want from everybody, you
How
know.
often does that happen
Me getting
for you?
excited.
Yeah.
Uh, ooh, at least once or twice a week. Right now, I just like I see work that I get excited about that I'm like, oh, this is really nice. And then I look at their body of work and I'm like, they're a little disjointed. Like there's some artists that I just like I like one piece, but then everything else is not very connected to that piece. So I just get like a little disappointed. And then there's like artists that when I look at you know their body of work, they're just like nothing compares to that same piece. So it's like you have like different things. So I maybe like twice or three times a week I'm just like this is really good, and then I just go and then I see their work and it's like really strong and I'm like yes, I just posted this glass ring like with the like twisted the person was a glass artist, and it was just the reflection of the glass through the ring was so beautiful and that really excited me.
So cool. I've never seen rings like that.
Yeah,
That's wild. Yeah, I think, I mean, your page is obviously like an inspiration to me, and I discover a lot of artists through you, but where do
thank
you
you.
discover new artists?
uh I look constantly to the explore area on Instagram because like I have trained the algorithm to show me jewelry for the most part. Once in a while it shows me a lot of pizza, but that's another story.
Yum.
um so I saved everything that I like on my on like a little board that I have on Instagram, and then so I have that, and I do the same with Pinterest. I'm looking constantly for jewelry and I have a board saved, like a secret board that is all jewelry. And then I when I have a time, I just go to their person's page and look at everything. And I'm like, is this so there's like a few questions that I have. It's like, is this handmade? Is this somebody that is like a one person show? Is this a manufacturing thing? Is this a rich lady that has a lot of money and just wants to, you know, have a jewelry line and stuff like that? So it's just like I think about all these things and then I start dwindling down to the people that I really want to post.
And so it sounds like part of the reason, like, one, you have to be excited about it, but two, you really have this passion for supporting independent artists. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like the core of why you're doing this. So that's
Mm-hmm.
like part of the factors of why you post somebody. It's not like a big company that you're trying to post. You're always trying to post that like independent artist who
Yeah.
will really get a lot out of the exposure.
Yeah, as much as I can. I once in a while will just post something just because I like it, even though like I know it's mass produced, which is very, very unlikely. Like I posted one AI thing and I got chopped and I got people were outraged by it. But it was just like beautiful. It was just like visually beautiful. But for the most part, I really just try to have like 99.9% is just small independent artists that are just making things by hand or just have, like I said, I have a small group of people. Like I think like the biggest person that I post about in terms of their um just employees is Alex Monroe. He has like he has a team, he has a big team, but he also makes everything in London and his everything is handmade. And I just have such an affinity for him because he's such a amazing person and I love him and I love his work and I love his team. Like there's not one person in that team that I don't love. So, like I have like a bias for him. Like when I go to London, he's the first person that I go and see. So but he's like the biggest one. Everybody else is just smaller.
Do you think so? Since this is a marketing podcast, I want to ask you this. Is there like, do you think that having a consistent marketing strategy and showing up will help you discover artists? Or is there anything about the way that artists market that stands out to you?
Good question. Let me think about that. I just for me it's just the authenticity is what really I fell in love with. When people are just like it's not like everything needs to be like perfectly manicured and perfectly, you know, um just perfectly shown. I just want to see I just want to feel that the person that I'm posting is like honest and like really authentic to themselves. I know it's really hard for artists. Like they're like a one person show for the most part. So like not everybody has the time to just create this incredible environment, like photo shoot moment for people. So I just like to see who they really are, if that makes sense.
I love that. I love a post that's just a photo. It doesn't even have to be like a beautiful photo with like a
Yeah,
caption that's like they're talking to me directly about what
exactly.
inspired them. And I think that
Exactly.
end consumers, like not just us jewelry lovers, but I think end consumers really connect with that as well.
Exactly. And that it's really fascinating. One time, and this was like a few years ago, I asked like the people that look at my stories, like what you like about 1,000 Facets. I don't show my face. I don't show anything about me. I only post work that I like. And like 70% of the people said, I just love how excited you are about something, how authentic you're showing your piece, like how you can see the passion that you have for the people's work. And I couldn't believe that people really understood what I was trying to say. Like that for me was so mind-boggling that you get me. You really get what I'm trying to do. And that was like the most exciting question I've ever asked anybody because
You've
it's
been
like
consistent in that though since I've known you, or like since day one, like just like so excited, so passionate about it all. Like, of course that comes through because like that's the way you present it. And
mm-hmm,
so it's
yeah,
cool though when you what your like your why is and what you're trying to do, you realize it actually has gotten through to who you're presenting it to. Like that's a really
yeah,
exciting moment.
yeah. There's not one piece like it's like somebody asked me, it's like, what's your wish list one? And I said, just look at my feed. That's my wish list. Like everything that I post is like something that I will love to own. I wish I had the money to spend to buy one piece of each, for everybody, but I can. But I just like that. I really am in love with everything that I post. It's like really sad because sometimes I said, if I say that I'm obsessed with this, it's gonna sound repetitive. But I'm like, there's no other way for me to say it. Like there's no my language is not that wide and like that. I just like that's the only way that I can um describe something.
Yeah, I love that. We had a great chat on here with Megan Almond, and we talked about finding your voice and standing out from like a copywriting perspective and more of like the
Yeah.
marketing end of things. And I
Mm,
see so many parallels between you and her because she is like, I'm just really excited about stuff. So that's my voice. Like that's how I write about things. And when
exactly.
I was writing this outline, I was like, oh, that's 1,000 facets too. Like just like always just really excited. When
Yeah,
she's excited and that's the voice
exactly.
she's putting out there.
I know. I can't. Somebody told me. Somebody described a friend this way. It's like they don't know how to be anybody else, and like I feel like that's how I am. I don't know how to be anybody else. So it's just like when I'm excited, I'm just gonna show it. Like you're gonna know my emotions immediately, just because I cannot hide it. So I just the bottom line is like I love something and I just want people to understand why I love this so much. And the fact that people have resonated with 1,000 facets, follow it, and like really understand where I'm coming from, that's like the cherry on top of it. Because I don't make money with this. I don't do anything. This is just because I love it and I just want to share my love for like independent artists with people, and just the fact that people understand where I'm coming from, that's like such a such a gift.
I have one more question for you, but first I want to point out that you grew a following and a community and have presented yourself authentically and it's resonated with an audience without sharing any details of your life. And I think that when designers get into this like space of like, oh, well, like how do I create a presence like online on social media without sharing, like I don't want to show my kids, I don't want to show my dinner, I don't want to show where I live and stuff like that. Like you're proof that you can do that. I just want to
Yeah.
point that out.
Yes, because for me, it's not about me. It's about the artist. And I think like some people, like everybody, yes, we can show, I show my authenticity in the sense of like my sense of humor, my quirkiness, and my
Your fashion.
weirdness.
Yeah.
But like on the stories, like I show like weird things. Like my stories are like all over the place. I know that, but it's like sometimes I pull like a cartoon or sometimes post like whatever I'm eating or whatever. But like that's just like I just want people to know that I'm a human under the, but that's about it. I don't need to show anything about me. It's about the artist's work and it's about why I love it so much. And I feel like artists they're like, we need to show we are and whatever. And yes, you can show it to your but through your work. You don't need to show your kids, like your kids are your private, life and all that. Like you don't need to show them. If you want to show them, that's fine. But like I will not recommend that, just especially with the time that we're living right now. I will like try to keep some type of anonymity. I like to be anonymous for many reasons, but like at the end of the day, it's about the artist's work. Like that's it. Like that should speak for itself. I don't need to be showing my face or giving you my life story.
So this is probably what everyone's thinking now is like, what's the best way for an artist to reach out to you to like share their designs? Because I know that you like to discover things, but I know you're also still open to seeing things.
Yeah, people send me DMs. I do get DMs. I look at them uh once in a while. I'm not all the time on my DMs, but like I will if you introduce yourself and show me your work, I will look at it. Please don't get offended if I don't answer you. Like I just sometimes I'm really bad at like saying like this is not for me, and I'm not saying that your work is bad or anything like that. It's just not for 1,000 facets. But don't feel discouraged about that. Just like once in a while, you can like send me a DM or you can like comment. Sometimes like when people comment on my posts, I look at their work. I actually go and like check their work, and then be, and if it speaks to me, I will save it. You know, it has happened, or like if somebody like um I don't like when people tag me on their work. That bothers me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but like you
Nobody
can
likes
send me
that.
yeah, you can send me an email, or you can like comment on something, but like don't say just look at my work. Don't say that. Just like try to create a relationship with me by posting. Like there's like this lady. She doesn't work. She's not a jewelry designer or anything like that. But like she started like commenting on every post that I do, and like she and I have like I don't know her name. She doesn't know my name, but we actually have like really deep conversations. And but that's the thing, is like she started just like commenting on my posts, and like I was like I saw that she was private, so I'm like, oh, she's a civilian, she's not an artist. But like little by little, and she will like comment more, and like we ended up talking, and we actually have a relationship. Like I have like a few ladies that are like jewelry lovers that we have conversations, and they send me videos and they send me memes and stuff like that, which is really funny. But like yeah, it starts with like trying to build a relationship, even like just commenting.
Yeah, and that goes for everything. That goes for like any editor. It goes for any wholesale account or like retailer you're looking to get in touch with. It's like you have to focus on building the relationship. And I know the number one thing that would turn 1,000 facets off if you want her to look at your work is to say, look at my work, or you
Yes.
need to post this, or
Yes.
why aren't you posting my work?
Yes.
Build a
I
relationship first. Yeah.
I really hate that. I get like comments like that. Like, one time I got like, I gave you permission to post my work, and I was like, okay. It's like, well, yeah, don't no, it's like I'm like, well, thank you. And I'll bow my head to them as you wish. But yeah, just like try to build a relationship. And like even if I don't post your work, but you're like trying to build a relationship with me, like I'm really open to like give people feedback and stuff like that once we have a relationship. But I just want people to just like understand that I'm a human being at the end of the day, and like I have a life and I have a job and I have like many jobs pretty much, and I just can't, it, people need to have like understanding about that, and just like respect my time, but like also like respect me that I'm a human.
All right. So where can people listen to your podcast and follow you? Although I'm guessing everyone listening already follows you.
Well, you can follow me in 1,000 facets on Instagram, and you can just search for 1,000 facets the podcast anywhere that you listen to your podcast, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and leave a review.
Leave a review. Leave a review for Success with Jewelry also while you're at it.
Yes,
They
yes,
mean a lot.
please. Yes.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Liz. I've really had fun, and I love you very much.
I love you too. I'm glad
All
I've known
right.
you this long. And
Me
we'll be
too.
talking more in the bonus content. But for now, are you looking to stand out? Let us know. Visit successwithjewelry.com. We'd love to know what you're thinking, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have. Thanks for being a part of our community.